Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. So today I'm reviewing and testing the new Gyeon EcoWash. This is a rinseless wash, a waterless wash, or a drying aid, so a 3-in-1 type product depending on which use you want from it, and is a perfect solution for anybody who doesn't have easy access to water to clean or wash their cars. So you could be an apartment or a condo dweller, you might live in a city where they have water bans or water restrictions. Whatever the reason may be, there are better and better solutions out there for people who have needs for those kinds of products, and this one definitely fits the bill. They unveiled this late 2023 at the Gyeon show in New York, a show that I was a part of and very happy to be a part of. And by the way, I want to thank Gyeon for sponsoring this video and making all of this possible. And I'll leave the links to all the products, tools, and equipment in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So we're going to talk about the product. We're going to talk about the uses, the chemistry, and of course, you're going to see it in a demo. You're going to see just how simple it is to use. So let's talk about the product itself first. So rinseless washes, waterless washes, and drying aids, we've all seen them before, right? So for the rinseless wash portion, what's so special about this one? Well, if we quickly look at the tab, SiO2 infused. So this one here has a ceramic technology infused into it. We're going to talk about all that. And the claims are actually quite simple. So slickness for maximum safety, of course. So you're reducing marring when you're washing your vehicle. You're getting a glossy and a streak-free finish. And also you're reducing the water usage because this, well, obviously uses much less water than anything else. So this product itself is very slick to the touch. Even when you're done drying it off at the end, you're going to see it leaves this slick finish. It's very glossy. It's going to provide water repellency as well and self-cleaning properties, just like a ceramic coating, but a lighter version of it basically. So it doesn't mean the car cleans itself. What it means is that it makes the vehicle easier to clean during your maintenance washes in the future. So it is a fantastic maintenance for ceramic coated vehicles, or even if you don't have any protection on your car, you can still use this. Or even if you have a regular wax or a sealant, you can still use this as well. But once again, this is perfect for the ceramic coatings, and Gyeon are known to be a top tier brand. As you guys know, if you watch my videos, for some of the best ceramic coatings on the market. I have tons of videos on their products, and today we're focusing on this itself. So you're going to notice when you're using this, first of all, that the scent is absolutely amazing, which is important. I know I like a good scent in a shampoo when I'm washing a car or in a rinseless wash if I'm using this. So they mentioned that this here, if we look at the side, it is a rinseless wash. It can be a waterless wash, or it can be a drying aid. So which dilutions would you use for every scenario? First of all, for the rinseless wash, the traditional 256:1, which means half an ounce for every gallon of water, or 50 milliliters for every 12 liters of water. And if you can also use it a bit more concentrated if you want, up to 1 to 150. So if you want that, so that means 80 mils of this product into 12 liters of water. Next, for the waterless wash, you can use it in a 1 to 10 or 1 to 15 dilution. So if you're in an area where you cannot even have access to fill your buckets with water for the rinseless wash technique, and your car isn't too dirty, because you have to use common sense, right? With products like these, if it's covered in a thick layer of mud and it's been blasted with crazy amounts of dirt, you'd have to pre-rinse the vehicle first, or skip the waterless wash method and use something safer at that point. But if your car has light to moderate dirt, these are perfect for that case. So for the waterless wash, a 1 to 10 dilution or a 1 to 15 dilution. And what I like to do is keep the 1 to 15 dilution ratio inside a spray bottle like this. So this is a 750 milliliter spray bottle. So that means you would add 2 ounces of product with 23 ounces of water, or 47 milliliters of product and 703 milliliters of water. You shake that up and you have your 1 to 15 dilution ratio of your waterless wash. So you can either clean your entire vehicle with this. So we'll talk about the use a bit later on, or you can use this to clean your door jambs. If you wash your car regularly using a traditional wash method, I like to use this in door jambs, or keep a portion of that into your trunk or in your glove compartment in your vehicle. And when you have bird bombs or things that you want to quickly remove, but you don't have access to wash your car immediately, at least you can spray the surface, let this dwell for 1 to 3 minutes, as long as you're not working in direct sunlight, and then take a plush microfiber towel. You can wipe that off. So that avoids that water spotting or that bird bomb from etching through the clear coat out, especially if it's super warm outside. So I like to keep a bottle of that waterless wash done. But today for the demo, we're going to do the rinseless wash technique. And what you need is actually quite simple. So obviously, you're going to need the EcoWash. So again, we're using the standard 1 to 256 dilution. I'm going to show you how to dilute that. So the EcoWash rinseless wash. You're going to need dual wash buckets with grit guards inside them. So the bucket filters. You can use the 1 bucket method if you want to, but Gyeon recommends 2 buckets because we're going to use the rinse bucket to rinse off the sponge or the mitt or the media that you use to wash the paint, just for an added safety measure. We're always going that extra mile, so you can use the 2 bucket wash method if you're used to that. We're going to need a pump sprayer, so something like this. This is the IK Multi Pro 2 pump sprayer, just a regular pump sprayer. You can get any one you want. We'll show you just how it is. You don't have to overthink the moment and to pre-dilute this in the bottle. You can just dunk it into the buckets that we're going to make the dilution is. So very simple. Next, for the wash media, we have one of 3 different types that you can use. So here we have the Gyeon Smoothie Evo microfiber wash mitt. So a premium wash mitt, very, very soft to the touch, and traps the dirt particles inside the fibers instead of on the top. So that way, less chances of marring the surface when you're doing the technique. The other wash media you can use is a plusher, thicker pile type microfiber towel. So something like this. This is the Gyeon Soft Wipe Evo. So very plush, very thick fibers. So if you want to use microfiber towels, you'd use many of these, right? And you'd use the kind of wipe and roll off kind of method and then flip to a clean and dry side every time. So that way you're not reintroducing the dirt onto the surface. Or you can also use traditional sponges that are made for rinseless washes. You've seen these a lot with the kinds of cutouts, and you get the wash media to a point where it's barely dripping wet. And then at the end, something simple, you need a microfiber drying towel. You would not use a blower in this case because the rinseless solution still has the dirt in it, so you don't want to blow that all over your surface. You use a microfiber drying towel. This one here is the Silk Dryer Evo, the newest version. So it has this perfect buttery soft edge that will not damage the surface, and it has twisted loop microfibers to be very, very absorbent and very soft on the surface. So again, don't worry guys, I'll leave all of these linked in the description under the video, but note that there's so much lubrication in this product that it is very, very safe. And again, please just use common sense. A rinseless wash doesn't mean that you never rinse the vehicle. It just means that no rinsing is needed at the end. If your vehicle is covered in a thick layer of dirt and mud, you would pre-rinse that first, right? And then go with the wash method. So let's dive into the demo. You're going to see how simple this is, and we're going to come back to give you the final thoughts. Okay, let's dive into the demo now. Behind me, I have my girlfriend's vehicle. It's her daily driver. It typically sits outside pretty much all day in the elements. So it has a little bit of bug guts, as you can see on the glass itself, a bit of dirt as well. And on the bumper, the same thing, more bugs and bug guts, some light dirt. So perfect candidate now. It hasn't been washed in about 2 weeks, so not overly dirty. And again, a perfect candidate for the rinseless wash method. Now we have our dual bucket system. So on this side, we have just some clean rinse water. And in the wash bucket, we're going to have our solution. So in the bottom of each bucket, I like to have what we call grit guards, these bucket filters that sit in the bottom and that trap all that loose dirt and debris in the bottom and not back into the solution, right? So I have in the wash bucket roughly 4 gallons of water right now. So I'm going to take Gyeon EcoWash, and for every gallon you use half an ounce, 1 to 256 dilution ratio. So because I have 4 gallons, I'll be measuring out roughly 2 ounces of the product itself. We're going to pour that in there. You're simply going to stir it up. It easily dilutes and mixes. And again, that scent, fresh and clean, very, very good. And I can already feel that lubrication. So we got that out of the way. Now, a very simple tool that we're going to use. Don't forget, we have the IK Multi Pro 2, a pump sprayer or any pump sprayer that you guys want. And because the dilution now is properly done inside the bucket, all we need to do for the pre-treat, for spraying the entire vehicle before we do the contact wash, is take our pump sprayer, you dunk it inside of the wash bucket, and there you go. Now you have a perfectly diluted solution, so no need to measure anything out, just leave some room of course, for the air inside there. And there you go. You have a perfectly diluted solution. So we're going to pump this up and we're going to use it as a pre-treat, meaning we're going to pre-spray the entire vehicle itself. So this is going to start to lift and to encapsulate on the surface any of that loose dirt and debris and kind of act as a pre-treat as you would even with your standard wash routine, right? So even if you want to use a regular car shampoo to clean your car normally, you can start with a pre-treat on the surface by using a rinseless wash like this. So again, this is going to safely lift and encapsulate loose dirt and debris. So you can rinse that away if you're using the traditional wash method, or in this case, add lubrication on the surface as well. So let's pump this up and let's start pre-treating the surface. All right, so we're going to pre-treat the surface by spraying this on, and you can adjust the tip to have a more focused spray or a wider spray. So if you have a bit more dirt and debris, you can focus it more like this here. So you get a stream and you can attack a bit more of that dirt and let it loose. If not, just put it to the wider setting and you go ahead and you pre-treat the entire surface. So again, this is going to act as lubrication on there, and it's going to make the wash process much safer, much easier. So right now, the product is doing all the work for us, right, on the surface. There we go. I'm going to pump it. So again, you want to work in ideal conditions. Try to avoid working in the baking sun and direct sunlight. Just makes the user experience not that great. So in the shade, on a cool surface, try to pick a day where it's overcast. You have the choice, right, to work in the best possible conditions for yourself. All right, so the entire vehicle was pre-sprayed. I still have about this much left, so we probably used, what, 2/3 of the solution in there. So now the surface is pre-treated. All we have to do is dunk our wash media, in this case the Gyeon Smoothie Evo microfiber wash mitt. So you would dunk that into your wash solution and you're going to get it, you're going to strain it to the point where it's barely dripping. So maybe a little more in this case, and there we go. You see, to the point where it's barely dripping. So this is what you want. And then you start wiping on the surface. So you're going to work just like you usually do for a regular wash routine from top to bottom. And you also work in straight lines ideally, especially if you're using a microfiber wash mitt, microfiber towels, or the sponge itself. Don't do any circular motion. And that's it. So let me show you how we do this. It's pretty simple. So you're applying the rinseless wash. So you're not forcing anything on there. And you're going to see when it's going to be time to dry the surface, the majority of all those bugs and bug guts are going to be softened up enough for us to pick them up. So already now I can see even off the mirror, all the bugs and bug guts are super easy to remove. You can do all the glass. Now this is not a rinseless wash tutorial, so we're not covering everything. What really we're doing is giving you an idea or an impression of how this is to use as a rinseless wash. I have many rinseless wash tutorials. If you guys want to do a deeper dive, there you go. You can flip your wash media to the clean and dry side every now and then you can do the rest of the panels. Tons of lubrication as I'm doing this. So now we're going to dunk the wash media inside the rinse bucket. Scrub it onto the grit guard in the bottom to remove the majority of the loose dirt and debris. Now the wash mitt is clean again. Put it back into the wash solution. Get it to a point where it's barely dripping wet. There we go. And then we continue on with the wash process. You can get behind the door handles. So straight lines. There we go. Flip to the clean side of the mitt. Straight lines once again. And you're going to notice that sweating effect on the surface, because because we're laying down a bit of that SiO2 protection. So let me bring you in closer so you guys can see what I mean. So you see those water droplets? So not only are we cleaning the ceramic coated surface that's underneath, but we're also laying down a light layer of SiO2 protection. So you can see the hydrophobic properties here. Pretty awesome. So again, always dunk and scrub the dirty mitt in the rinse bucket. And then once again, put it in the clean wash solution. Bring it to a point where it's barely dripping. There you go. So you guys get the point. So we're going to finish washing this half of the vehicle. I'm going to flip the microfiber wash mitt. So when you do larger panels like these, you probably want to flip your mitt halfway. So now, again, you dunk in the rinse. So as you guys can see, this is a pretty quick process. In less than a minute or two, I can do the entire half of the vehicle. Another 1 to 2 minutes for the other half. The top, the rear. So in less than 10 minutes, pretty much the entire process is done. So let's do the grill. And once you're done cleaning, all that is left to do is to take the drying towel and dry the surface. So as I'm doing the front part of the bumper, because we had that pre-treat solution on there, I can tell that all the bugs and bug guts are very, very easy to come off. I'm not scrubbing like a madman. I'm just letting the product do its thing. I make sure to apply the Rinseless solution everywhere. And that's it. So much lubrication on here. So if you guys are worried that Rinseless washes, they scratch or mar the paint, well, not if you have a high quality one. You use common sense, of course, and you use the appropriate products and wash media, so on and so forth. So, again, clean that surface. See how simple this is? Get it to a point where it's dripping wet, or barely dripping, should I say. So let's finish this portion here. And now is the time to dry. So we're going to use the silk dryer from Gyeon as our microfiber drying towel. So we're going to put our wash mitt for there. So they have different sizes available. This is the new Evo version. So again, twisted loop. These are the most absorbent types of microfibers and makes them perfect for drying your vehicle. There we go. Very soft. So now all we have to do is dry the surface. And you don't have to worry about anything because this also acts as your drying aid. And you can also spray more drying aid if you want by either using the Rinseless wash diluted 1 to 20 in a trigger sprayer, or you can also use things like the Gyeon ceramic detailer. So this here, you can also spray that on top of the Rinseless wash if you want even more gloss and slickness. But here, panels feel already very, very slick. And as I'm doing this in real time, as you're going to notice, the cleaning power for anybody who doubts that these can't really clean well on the windshield, there are no more of those bugs and those bug guts. And this is a pretty quick solution, especially if you don't have access to free-flowing water to clean your car, apartment dweller, whatever it may be, condo dweller, or cities with laws and regulations, water restrictions, water bans, all that kind of stuff. So there we go. I'm looking at the bumper and I'm not seeing any bugs or bug guts. I'm going to bring you in closer when we're done with the drying stage. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. So I was lucky enough to be part of the developmental stage of the Rinseless wash, and I was kind of a beta tester as they were putting this together to give them my feedback, which I always appreciate. So there you go. So easy to dry, it's nuts. Even on glass, this leaves no spotting behind, nothing. So easy to wipe off. And again, you're getting that added slickness for when you are using your towel to dry. It acts as its own lubricant on the surface. Look at that. So easy swipes. You're not scratching or marring the surface. And yeah, this looks amazing. Get that nice little pop of gloss, and it's going to give you those self-cleaning properties as well for the next time you wash your car. It lays just enough of that slick self-cleaning properties behind. Look at that, this feels super slick to the touch. So let me bring you in so you guys can see what I'm talking about as far as cleaning power. And there you go, clean windshield. None of those bugs or bug guts. It's just a water droplet here. Don't mind that. And look at how glossy and clean. What about the bumper? Where all the bugs were? That's it. Simple pre-treat. Look at that. It's all gone. Simple pre-treat, and then you clean, you wipe dry, and you get this gorgeous finish. So what do you guys think? Look at that. So in a few minutes, you can safely wash your car without the use of a garden hose or a pressure washer. Having the dual bucket system also lets you keep all that dirty water. You see all those bugs and that brown and dark water. That's the rinse bucket, and that keeps your actual wash solution much cleaner. So if we look at both, look at how much darker and dirtier the rinse is here compared to the wash bucket. So as you saw, guys, Gyeon EcoWash, the results speak for themselves. So it gives you that great gloss, it gives you that great slickness, tons of lubrication when you're actually in the wash process with either the rinseless wash or the waterless wash. It's going to lift and encapsulate that loose dirt and debris, and it leaves hydrophobic protection behind. So you're going to see that kind of sweating or that beading on the surface when you're using this, an indication that it's laying an SiO2 layer of slight protection behind. And you're going to get, of course, the self-cleaning property benefits, meaning that the car is going to be even easier to clean during your future wash. So as you saw, a perfect maintenance product if you have a ceramic coated vehicle. So at the end of the drying, when you're drying, I mean the vehicle with the microfiber drying towel, you can use the rinseless wash that's on the surface. But if you want even more lubrication, you can use this as a drying aid. So a 1:20 dilution in your trigger or pump sprayer. You spray that onto your towel or onto the surface, and you have even more lubrication, and then you can dry the surface even better that way if you want that. And you can use that as a drying aid over any other wash process if you want. So a regular wash with shampoo, for example, and you want a cool drying aid at the end because you're using a microfiber towel, you can use this at the 1:20 dilution ratio as a drying aid. So again, I remind you, triple use for this, right? Rinseless wash, 1:256 dilution, or half an ounce for every gallon of water. So the traditional dilution, or you can use it up to 1:150 if you want something a bit more concentrated. Then you can use this as a waterless wash in a 1:10 dilution ratio, or something in a trigger sprayer that you can use 1:15 as well. That's the dilution that I use. So for its use as a drying aid, so that's the third use, we use a 1:20 dilution ratio, as I mentioned. If you're using the waterless wash method, the it's pretty much similar, but you would do panel per panel in this case, because especially if you're doing this outside, you don't want the product to be there drying for minutes on end, especially if it's sunny. Ideally, avoid doing all of this in direct sunlight. Try to do it in the shade on a cool surface or indoors if you can. But if you have no choice to work outside, again, work panel per panel. So your spray bottle, you would dilute the product, you would spray the panel generously, right? And you would let that dwell for 1 to 3 minutes. Give some time for the waterless wash to start softening and encapsulating that loose dirt and debris that's on the surface. And then you would take your plush microfiber towels in this case, because that's the preferred media for the waterless wash use. So again, something like the Gyeon Soft Wipe Evo. So these towels, look at them. These are very plush. They're a thicker pile. So that way, again, less chances of marring or scratching the paint. Be very safe and diligent when you're doing these methods. And you would wipe and roll at the same time and use multiple towels and flip the towel to a clean side, right? When you're folding these, you technically get 8 that are clean sides, and you have multiple towels, so you can do the entire vehicle as long as you do it panel per panel. And when you're done cleaning the panel, you'd take a separate clean and dry towel to wipe the surface and buff to a streak-free shine, and that's it. And then once it's done, it's going to look clean. It's going to have that gloss, that slickness, that pop, and also the self-cleaning properties, and you're going to boost the water repellency also on the surface. It smells good. I mean, yeah, you guys, by the way, and of course you guys have to try this, but for those who did, I'm always curious. Let me know, drop a comment in the comment section. What's your feedback with this? The performance is insane. The versatility in use, the fact that it's SiO2 based, so perfect maintenance for your ceramic coated vehicle if that's what you have. But note once again that you can use this as a standalone. So if you don't have any protection, you can still clean your car with this. If you just have a regular wax or paint sealant as well, you can still use this, no problem. So whether it's a rinseless, a waterless wash, or a drying aid, those 3 methods are awesome. Depending on which country you're in, you can get it in different sizes. So this one here is 500 mils or 16.9 ounces. They also have a 33.8 ounce or 1 liter container like this one, and they also have a 4-liter version available. Again, don't worry, I'll leave all the links to the tools, products, and equipment in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. I hope you enjoyed this. It is a killer product like anything that Gyeon makes. I have a bunch of other videos on their newer products as well if you haven't checked that out. There's pretty awesome stuff and innovation on their part, and they're keeping on coming up with things that surprise us. So for a first rinseless wash in their lineup, I think this is pretty stout. And again, you guys let me know once you try it what your impressions are. So guys, thanks for being there, thanks for watching, and in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.